Alright guys, welcome back to Uncrowned ASMR. We're back with another Legend of Heroes reading. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I've been doing well myself, so I hope everybody else is. But let's go ahead and jump right into this so I can put you guys to sleep, so you guys can get up tomorrow morning and full of energy. But let's do this. I kind of forgot where we were at, but I believe we were at Trails to Asher. I want to say chapter 2, but let's see. Yeah, I think we were at chapter 2, so let's get started. The West Ameria Trade Conference. However, in the shadows, another group was stirring with plans of its own. Ouroboros had arrived in Crossbell and was plotting his next move. The trade center and unveiling of the newly completed Orchis Tower were fast approaching. The police knew they could take no chances, and the SSS would be required to support the 1st Division where necessary. Problems continued to mount as the conference drew closer. The SSS learned Hayway had signed a contract with the Cavardian government, and Randy was summoned to the New Blanc nightclub to meet with his cousin Shirley and Uncle Sigmund about returning to the corps. Ouroboros also began causing trouble in the Orbital network. Meanwhile, a new analysis into Gnosis was completed by St. Ursula's Dr. Salem, but everything about it beyond its ability to release the brain's limiters couldn't be explained by biochemistry. Gnosis remained a mystery, especially its red variant demonization ability. The evening before the conference, the SSS was summoned across Bell Airport and invited aboard Liberal's high-speed cruiser, the Traisl, to meet Crown Princess Claudia and Erebonia's Prince Oliver. Having heard of the SSS through their good friends Estelle and Joshua, the prince and the princess asked for a meeting to give them crucial information. The SSS was told of the problems that were plaguing Erebonia and Calvert at the same time. Namely, each country was dealing with terrorist threats targeting its two heads of state, the Empire's Chancellor Osborne and the Republic's President Rocksmith. Later that night, the team was contacted by Jonah, who told them a hacker had been running amok on the network and was using his old terminal in the geofront. Dudley, having overheard the situation, insisted on tagging along to cover all bases before the conference. The team investigated the geofront B sector, but played right into the hacker's trap and were locked into a fiery room set to explode. Just then, Tio appeared, having just returned from Lehman, and freed them. With her arrival, the SSS, both old and new, was finally fully assembled. The West Ameria Trade Conference finally came, and Doolin agreed to add the SSS to the tower security detail. Tensions were high, and everyone was praying the day would end without incident, but it was only a matter of time before those prayers fell on deaf ears. Anti-air defenses at the borders were sabotaged, and the tower soon was under fire from the terrorist gunships. Security thwarted the attack, but the terrorists escaped before being caught by Erebonia and Calvert's hired muscle. The Red Constellation killed the Erebonian terrorists on sight, per Osborne's orders. Osborne and Rocksmith had anticipated the attack and used it to further criticize Crossbell's security failing. They proposed that the Imperial and Republican armies be stationed at Crossbell's borders gates, and the CGF be heavily scaled back. Mayor Croix had a shocking proposal of his own, however. He pleaded with everyone attending the conference that it was high time that Crossbell become an independent state. Next, read intermission, a brief respite. Support for Crossbell becoming independent began swelling among the public in the weeks following the trade conference study conclusion. Meanwhile, the SSS took a couple of days off, still recovering from the the shocking events surrounding the Red Constellation and airborne interiors they witnessed. Mary Bell invited them to Michelle, where they could enjoy a brief respite at the newly opened lakeside beach and in Misselham Wonderland. To their surprise, however, Mary Bell also took the liberty to invite some of the SS's closest friends, Noel's sister's friend, Lloyd's stand-in sister, Cecil, Ilya, Rixa, and Arkansas's newest member, Sully. Everyone washed away their woes at the beach and theme park before attending a dinner party hosted by Mayor Croix. There, Dieter shared his views on justice and Crossbell's independence with the attendees and stressed how important that each were to the Crossbell's future. Back at the hotel, Lloyd had a moonlit talk with Rixa about her struggles, and she opened up about the burden of accepting her family's legacy versus remaining with Arkansas. Kay went missing later that night, leading the SSS to investigate the park and clash with the Society's enforcer number 0, Campanella the Fool. After a brief dust-up, the SSS found Kay staring blankly at the park's castle of mirrors, unable to recall when or why she had left Lloyd's bed. As they were sailed back home, everyone's mind weighed heavy with the reminder of the evil that was still lurking in the shadows. Meanwhile, having finally spotted a chance to speak with Kay alone, Mary Bell pounced on the opportunity to tell her that she knew of a solution to Kay's problems. Chapter 3, Budding Turmoil. A public referendum on state independence was drawing near, as with the debut of Arkansas's Golden Sun Silver Moon Encore. The SSS was back to work and had its hands full following up on reports of mysterious monsters known as cryptids, the same kind of creatures that they encountered in the abandoned mine months prior. In doing so, they discovered a mysterious blue flower and connected it to the cryptid's appearance. After consulting Ray's Ardent, a grass litter member of the undercover mission, they identified it as Pleroma grass, a flower from the church's Apocrypha and the key ingredient to Gnosis. The SSS then paid Rosenberg Studio a visit home to Mr. George Rosenberg, a member of Ouroboros and leader of his 13 factories. George denied any connection between the society and DG Code, but confirmed the name attached to Ouroboros' current plan, the Phantasmal Blaze plan. Shortly after, a train derailment incident caused the team to crack a large monster into the Nox Forest. However, the culprit behind the derailment was no ordinary monster. It was Wald, who had taken Gnosis to demonize and gain what he believed to be true power. Wald disappeared into the forest after a battle, causing the SSS to return to the city and fruitlessly ask around Wald's old hangout for news on his potential whereabouts. Later, their efforts to locate two missing bracers led them to the Lake Elm wetlands, where they found abundantly blooming Pleroma glass and Yin, who had come to investigate as well. In the wetlands depths, they encountered Campanella again, this time accompanied by Ouroboros' 6th Anguist, Professor F. Novartis, and 7th Anguist, Arnold, the Steel Maiden. The SSS was powerless in the face of Arnold's inhuman strength, and his mask was destroyed, revealing the face of none other than Rixa Mel. Ouroboros escaped, and Rixa excused herself. Without a moment's rest, the SSS was contacted by Dudley, who said the Red Constellation had vanished from Crossbell City completely. However, it wasn't long before the Jaegers re-emerged, occupying Maine's mining village, and attacked the CGF on the mountain path. Randy retrieved his old Jaeger weapon, Berserker, and left for the mountain path, deciding to take matters into his own hands. The SSS left to find Randy once they discovered he was missing. After a clash with Shirley, Lloyd confronted Randy and scolded him for acting so recklessly, saying his teammates will forgive him even if he can't forgive himself for what he did as a Jaeger. But no sooner had they liberated Maze, they were greeted by the sight of Crossbell City aflame in the distance. Chapter 4, Crossbell's Fate. Maze was a diversion, and the Red Constellation's true target target was the city. They set it on fire, gravely wounded Ilya Balchier and bombed Kiev. Oh, my bad, guys. They set it on fire, gravely wounded Ilya Balchier and bombed key facilities one after another, including the police station and Hayway's office. Traisl wondered just who they were working for this time. The SSS did their best to stop Sigmund, but the IBC building was destroyed and the perpetrators escaped. In the aftermath, cross-balance suspected Erebony was behind the attack. The SSS did everything they could to return normalcy to the city, but it wasn't long before Noel decided to return to the CGF to help their depleted numbers. The referendum was held, and the public voted overwhelmingly in favor of independence. The following week, the IBC froze Imperial and Republican assets, and Dieter declared the establishment of the independent state of Crossbell, naming himself as its first president. The CGF was organized into the Crossbell Defense Force, with Ariel's name as the Secretary of Defense following his sudden resignation from the Guild. The SSS minus Wazy, who was mysteriously missing, then met with Killico, Rowan, and Ledger, each representing the major powers intelligence agencies. Lloyd began to suspect that Dieter had orchestrated the raid all along. Just then, a frantic Cecil called Lloyd saying that Arrows had come to the SSS building and taken Kate on his own. The SSS quickly pursued, only to find the theme park abandoned in the Castle of Mirrors, surrounded by an eerie light as the bell tolled. The higher elements were activated within the castle, and deep inside, Arrows had taken Kate to a secret space behind the mirror on the top floor. The SSS stepped through the mirror and were greeted by Arrows, Mary Bell, and Kate, who had straddled into a strange device. Mary Bell revealed that Croy's family originally inherited the Septarion of Mirage from Adios, but lost it over 12,000 years ago. They had plotted for centuries to recreate the Septarion, incorporating medical science into the very foundation of Crossbell City. Kate's purpose was to be the vessel for the reborn Septarion, and the Crush family had manipulated the cult into looking after her for 500 years. The SSS was determined to take Kate back by force, but their efforts proved fruitless, as they were powerless in the face of the divine blade of wind's peerless techniques. The ceremony went on as Mary Bell planned, and Kate was born into a Septarion covering not only Mirage but time and space as well, the Septarion of Zero. Kate then used her powers to bless the societies of Aeons or Archaeons. The Aeons defeated the invading Imperial and Republic armies and stopped an attack from Erebonia's railway guns. Dieter Croy stood atop Orcish Tower laughing as a barrier was erected around the city. Meanwhile, the SSS was arrested by Noel and the CDF on Ariel's orders, but not before Ariel confessed to being Guy Banning's murderer. Alright guys, story's picking up. I'm gonna make this one a short one today. Sorry for that, and I know I keep butchering his words. I don't know.